Oh, Canada, never de nos aïeux. Don't want a cat de fleurs glorieux, car ton bras sait porter le pays, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. For Canada we stand on guard for thee. For Canada we stand on guard for thee. Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home front of the brave?
Well, it's a gorgeous night here in Arlington, Texas, situated about midway between Dallas and Fort Worth. 79 degrees Fahrenheit, low humidity, and a nice pleasant breeze blowing. Tommy, you know, to enjoy it in the spring, we come back in July, you can add about 25 degrees to this temperature here.
It's nice to look up at that scoreboard, the digital degree marking of 79 right now, because you and I both well know that back in July when we come back home, and there you see it, it'll be a triple digits when you look up at the scoreboard. But this is a fun atmosphere. I've always enjoyed coming to Arlington Stadium. It's a nice ballpark. It's a good field to play on. Most of the infielders and outfielders enjoy this infield and the outfield. The grass is very cut short, and it's also very fast, almost like AstroTurf. And speaking of fast, here comes 44-year-old Nolan Ryan, who still can throw in the 90s.
And a rousing ovation from his Texas fans as he takes them out against the Toronto Blue Jays. And this, the little ballpark that grew, it was a high school stadium, kept getting bigger and bigger as the Rangers' relationship with the American League progressed. But the story, of course, is Ryan, one of the rarities in all of professional sport, and one of the great mistakes in scouting, because when he was signed by the New York Mets, he was a 10th round draft choice back in 1965. So a lot of people didn't really know what Nolan Ryan was going to be all about. He was then dealt to California for Jim Ferguson, one of the worst trades of all time, December of '71. Ferguson now the Phillies manager. So the lineups for today's game are brought to you by the Game Genie, the video game enhancer by Camerica. Has owned a lot of hitters. He absolutely possesses Devon White. 1 for 22 is White's record against him lifetime. Roberto Alomar hits next, then Kelly Gruber. and Joe Carter in left field. John Olerud at first base. The next two have never seen Nolan Ryan yet. Mark Whitten and Glenn Allen Hill DHing. The catcher is Greg Myers, and the shortstop, the switch hitter Manuel Lee.
And behind Nolan Ryan, the defense for the Texas Rangers, Jack Doherty in left field, Gary Pettis, 5-time Gold Glove winner in center, Ruben Sierra in right, Steve Buechele, Jeff Hewson on the left side of the infield, Julio Franco plays second base, Rafael Palmeiro at first. Mike Stanley will catch, and 44-year-old right-hander Nolan Ryan, last time out for Nolan Ryan in 8 1/3 innings against the Cleveland Indians, he threw over 130 pitches. There was some question as to whether he would take his turn tonight, but they decided after seeing him throw on the side between starts that he was ready, and he certainly is, and so are we.
Ready to go against White. Devon, equally adept from either side of the plate, hitting .333, having a fantastic season. 13 runs batted in. Tries to butt his way on, but it's foul.
Well, you're Devon White, and you might not know the exact figures that you quoted, 1 for 22 against Nolan Ryan, but you know you haven't hit him over the years, so he tries to reach base by dropping down a bunt, try to drag one. One
thing he does remember is, I'm sure, that the last hit was quite a while ago. He's 0 for the last 17. So it wasn't just yesterday he got the hit off Ryan. He throws it past him for strike 2, 1-2. Ryan, in his 25th major league season, is third on the all-time list. Only Deacon McGuire and Tommy John, who saw action in 26, have longer service down and in ball 2. And the other day he said he's going to continue in the foreseeable future. There are the strikeouts. Number 5,000 came right here against Ricky Henderson, who made history of his own today, as you saw earlier.
And to think there was a time Steve Carlton was ahead of Nolan Ryan.
Didn't get the call there. The fans thought he should have. Tim Sheeta's calling balls and strikes. The count is full.
So did Nolan. That's about the most upset he gets. You saw the facial expression. He wanted that call, but he's such a professional. He's in no way going to show up the home plate umpire at this point.
Up high, and he strikes him out. Let's go to Fergie Almer now, the Ranger pitching coach.
You look back at Nolan Ryan's record, 15-4 with 5 days rest or more. Are you going to change what you do with Nolan Ryan and when you pitch him?
Yeah, this has been a tough selling job to Nolan. He fights going with an extra day's rest, but his body has shown by his record and by his stuff to do better when he has what we call an active rest day. And I think he's finally come to accept that, and wherever we can, we'll give the guy an extra day.
Pitching here to Roberto Alomar with an 0-1 count. Little soft roller to second base. Franco throws him out. So quickly, 2 gone, and Kelly Gruber will try his hand next, the Jays' third baseman.
Good crowd here at Arlington, and I'll tell you, Chevy, one thing we should look for tonight in Nolan Ryan. Early in the year, he pitched a couple of ball games where it was very cold, and the middle finger of his pitching hand, right at the tip, kind of cracked a little bit. You know how the skin gets when you get too cold? And he's had trouble with that. And maybe hasn't thrown quite as many changeups because he uses that finger to put a little extra pressure on his changeup. So maybe more fastballs and curveballs. He might stay away from that changeup.
Missed again. It's ball 2, 2-0. The Jays, by losing 8-5 last night, Boston beating Minnesota, fall out of first place. They're half a game back starting play this evening, as they face the West for the first time. The first month exclusively against Eastern Division teams until yesterday. Inside, Ryan, a long look back to Sheeta on that one too. That's a pitch he's not liable to get from this umpire, it appears.
Well, so far, and again, we talk about umpires' consistencies. So far, he's missed twice with it. He hasn't gotten the call.
Gruber fouls it back on the 3-0.
This is a good test, I think, Chevy, for the Blue Jays. They're on a stretch now, starting yesterday, 30 games against Western Division ball clubs. Last year, they were 44-40 against the West, and they're going to be tested here through the month of May.
Strike two, breaking ball fools him.
That was that pitch that every once in a while people question with Nolan Ryan. That wasn't the straight fastball. That was the fastball that he gets some sink to, and you could see the bottom fall out of it. And what I mean by question, there were some hitters at times that thought maybe Nolan Ryan was cutting the baseball a little bit.
He watched Gruber up and in. I wouldn't think a pitcher with his talents would have to even consider cutting a baseball.
That time the fastball just gets away from him, and somehow Kelly's able to back away. Because you're not looking for a pitch at all up in that area with 3 balls on you.
Joe Carter up next. He was held hitless last night for just the 4th game this season. He's hit safely in 10 of the last 12. Pitch down and away. Kelly stumbles, gets caught, and they've got him in a rundown. The ball is dropped and he's safe. A bizarre episode between first and second base. First Kelly makes the mistake, then the Rangers' Palmeiro can't hang on to it, and he's safe after all that.
Well, Kelly saw the ball get by Mike Stanley, the Rangers catcher, and started to go, and then realized that it didn't get by far enough, and then got caught in that twilight zone. So Palmeiro does the correct thing. The mistake here is that Franco gets the ball to Palmeiro too late, and he really never had a chance to make the catch cleanly while he put the tag on Kelly Gruber, and that's why he dropped the ball.
Yeah, he was preoccupied with getting to the man and forgot about the baseball. So Kelly gets away with something and keeps the inning alive for Carter, and a 1-0 count to him. Pops him straight up. Back of the bag at second. Julio Franco makes the call and records the out. So much ado about nothing, and Ryan gets the job done for the Rangers. They're coming to bat in a moment on Labatt's Blue Jays baseball.
Page 67 in your Rangers souvenir program. Page 67 brought to you by TGI Fridays. First Base Sports is down to shop in the Lone Star Oyster Bar. Lucky number on page 67, 829-292. Certificate from TGI
Can you hear? Can anybody else hear him grunting every once in a while when he throws a good fastball?
Yeah.
Can you hear that too?
Yeah, I did.
Lucky number on page 68, 552.
I thought it was Fergie.
Lucky number 5 is a gift certificate.
or for no special reason.
At the personal service dogs.
Having supper.
Well, let's hear about that golf match.
How about that golf match? Okay. Just the billboard and straight to the lineup, right? No commercial? Oh, very nice. I like the clanging.
That was strong.
I like the sound of the door,
Yeah,
too.
how did you create that sound?
Is there a prison outside the truck? Texas lineup is brought to you by the Game Genie, the video game enhancer by Camera Guy. And it features Gary Pettis in center field, Jack Doherty in left, Rafael Palmeiro, the ex-Chicago Cub, at first base. Blue Jay killer Ruben Sierra with 2 home runs last night bats cleanup. Julio Franco at second, DHing is Juan Gonzalez. Mike Stanley catches tonight. Steve Buchel's at third base. The shortstop is Jeff Houston against Jimmy Key, looking for his 5th consecutive victory.
Here's a look at the Blue Jays defense in the outfield from left left to right, Joe Carter, Devon White, and Mark Whitten. Kelly Gruber, Manuel Lee, Roberto Alomar, John Olerud around the infield. Greg Myers will catch Jimmy Key on the mound.
Blue Jays pitching coach Galen Cisco. Jimmy Key is 4-0. Why has he been so successful?
Well, Jimmy's put his A game on the field, and when he does that, he gets his breaking ball over almost at will, and specifically when he's behind hitters, his changeup has just been excellent, and he's spotting his fastball in and out excellently, and that's why he's 4-0.
He works to Gary Pettis, and it's ball one. He's looking to equal what Jerry Garvin did. Remember Jerry Garvin, the first-year Blue Jay, won his first 5-0 in the first season of 1977. Key looks to match that tonight. That pitch is low. He falls behind his hitter. 3-2 lifetime is Key's record against the Rangers.
And to coin the phrase used by Galen Cisco, Jimmy Key will need that A game out there against Nolan Ryan.
Strike one. Pettis batting about 50 points higher than many figure he will throughout the year at 289. Still known much more for his range and his glove than his bat. That's why he's bounced around from the Angels to the Tigers to free agency now to Texas. 2-2. Devon White played behind Pettis, coming up with the California Angels.
You know, I thought we might see Brian Downing in the leadoff spot. Downing not in the lineup tonight. He's been the designated hitter for the Rangers over the last few weeks. But Juan Gonzalez, the youngster, is the DH tonight. Gonzalez with a slightly sore hamstring, so it was a choice, Downing or Gonzalez, and Downing is the one that has to sit tonight, but he's available for pinch hitting because he's healthy.
Base is denied by the umpire there, Drew Coble. Well, here's a quote by Downing. He's supposed to be too hurt, too old to play this game. And then he saw George Foreman fight. Like a lot of other people. He's back at it. He had a great bat over the years with the Angels. Line to Gruber. Very fine catch by the Blue Jays third baseman to take care of Pettis.
One thing about Gary Pettis, he always has had a little more pop as a right-handed hitter.
Jack Doherty.
And that time he hits the ball hard. The problem with Pettis, see that uppercut swing? When you have the speed of a Gary Pettis, you should swing down on the ball and utilize the speed. That's why every year he strikes out over 100 times and only hits 2 or 3 home runs.
Tommy, as you saw Kelly Gruber, and of course you saw him fall between first and second, he is suffering with a bad case of flu tonight. He was in on the trainer's table for a couple of hours. He's taking all kinds of pills, and he's lucky to be out there, really.
But I tell you, it's going around too. Everybody, it seems like, on the club, and it's like in a preschool. One little kid gets it and everybody gets it, and that's what happens with the ball club because you travel together all the time.
Now you tell me this after you spent an hour in the clubhouse.
I feel fine, though.
So do I so far. 0-2 is the count to Jack Doherty. He is one of the reasons that they gave up on Pete Incaviglia. The other was that Bobby Valentine just plain couldn't stand him. Incaviglia now with the Tigers. It's low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. You say the age of the 400 hitter is gone. Well, Doherty did that, but it was back in 1984 with Helena of the Pioneer League. At 402, just 118 here this year. Swings at a bad pitch, holding at a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it's really been a strange career for Jack Doherty. He was a very successful collegiate player, University of Arizona, yet he wasn't drafted by any club. So he played in the minor leagues. He played with that Helena Ball Club, which was an independent team made up of kids from all different organizations.
How to play.
And if you look at his minor league record after that season, he went on to West Palm Beach with the Expos, hit .316, hit .317 at Jacksonville, hit .312 in Indianapolis, never got an opportunity with a major league club. And here he is finally getting a chance with the Texas Rangers. And he's 30 years of age.
Gruber tested again, up with it smartly, and the throw is there. 2 fine plays by Gruber, 2 outs, and Rafael Palmeiro is next.
Rafael Palmeiro, you hit left-handers better last year than you did right-handers. John Olerud did the same. Why do you think that is?
Well, because I concentrate a little bit more. I tried to see the ball and you know, try to work the whole field, hit the ball the other way. I against right-handers, sometimes I pull off the ball and it causes me to hit ground balls. I think John Olerud does the same thing. If you ask him, he'll go with the pitch, and he stays in there a little bit better against left-handers.
Big 318 this year. Decent start certainly for Raphael. That is ball one high, but he's still a better road hitter. The only American leaguer to get 100 hits away last year than he is here in Arlington. About 60 points better away than at home.
Hey, the bottom line is this guy just has a sweet swing. Doesn't matter lefties or righties.
2-0 is the count to him.
I think a good trivia question for 1990. Who led the league in hits? Rafael Palmeiro.
191. He also finished third in overall batting average at .319. There's a strike to him, 3-1. He was born in Havana, Cuba, September 24th of 1964. Way up in center field. Tracking back is White. He has room. Makes the catch for the third out. So a long, loud third out from the bat of Palmeiro, and the Rangers are gone on Labatt's Blue Jays baseball.
And now turn to page 49, the Rangers souvenir program. Page 49, brought by Jay Happy's to the Key West Grill. Lucky number on page 49 is 651053. Lucky number 5 is the Gibson.
They gave away a bunch of tickets.
Now turn to page 50.
It's a grocery store at Fill the Park night. Free tickets.
I bet they hate them.
Lucky number on page 50, 729-006. Lucky number 5 is a barbecue dinner from Colter's. And your prize is at the personal services office.
Well, they do.
All Ranger home runs are measured. The distance is right on the scoreboard. The longest home runs at the end of the season will have a donation made in their name by IBM, the Boys Clubs of America chapters, Fort Worth, Dallas, and Arlington on fan appreciation.
Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV, brought to you by Labatt's Blue, the clean, true taste of Canada.
Jeff Russell and Steve Buzzell will host a golf tournament on Thursday, May 16th for people that care. To join them and their teammates for a day of golf, call 214-530-8004. Heading off for the Blue Jays, number 9, first baseman John Olerud.
Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV, brought to you by Labatt's Blue, the clean, true taste of Canada.
Here's young John Olerud to face Nolan Ryan. He's done decently against him, this young hitter. 2 for 6 lifetime versus the Ranger right-hander. John's a pretty good road hitter overall, hitting .310 away from home. Whitten and Hill get a taste of Ryan next. At the knees, that's strike one. 1-1 to young John.
That pitch last inning he didn't get. Of course, it was a fastball, a couple of fastballs out there he didn't get. That time Nolan Ryan with the good curveball, questionable, but he got the call on the outside part of the plate.
Tim Sheeta just paid him back. Still owes him one the way I figure it. That's a strike. Olerud looks at it. Strike 3. Let's go to Fergie.
Tom House, it's interesting about Nolan Ryan. He could go 1 inning out there, or he could go 9, but his routine never changes.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, I've always seen him do more, but I've never seen him do less. And sometimes you wonder the day after whether he's thrown a no-hitter or whether he's given up 7 runs in the first inning. It's the same, and I think it's a real credit to his commitment to the game.
Mark Whitten looks at his first Ryan pitch, a fastball over the heart of the plate for strike 1.
I tell you what else that does, Nolan Ryan and his regime, his exercise routine that he goes into, it's helpful to the young pitchers. The Texas Rangers have Bobby Witt, Kevin Brown, guys like this see that.
Oh, you see the look there from Ryan. He wanted that pitch, too. He didn't get from Chinchita.
You see the grimace. Every time he kind of grits his teeth, that's when he wants that pitch. There was a changeup that we talked about that he might not throw a lot tonight, but that was a good one.
Now, this is a good one. Mark Whitten, the guy next to him, Glenn Allen Hill, they're going to be major league stars for years the way they're starting out. Unusual to see both in the lineup tonight. Hill's there as the DH. He lays off that. It's 2-2.
Oh, Mark with a great ball game last night, had 4 RBIs, big double. And you see him with his 14 RBIs in 33 games he played with the Jays last year. Mark had 7 RBIs.
And you get the game before this last night, the one we did on Sunday, and this guy goes 4 for 4 up at the Sky Dome. He gets the call there. Back-to-back strikeouts, 2 gone here in the second. Well, this was the day that Lou Gehrig took himself out of the Yankee lineup and never did return. May 1st, 1939.
Well, everyone knows that Lou Gehrig replaced Wally Pipp, who played first base that day for the New York Yankees. Babe Dahlgren.
Huh?
Another Babe, but it was Babe Dahlgren.
And then I had forgotten that if you look at Hill at the plate with a 1-strike count, that later on, after he could not play baseball anymore, he worked for the city of New York in a civic capacity under the guidance of the mayor. Lou Gehrig did. 0-2.
See, that's how pitches set up another pitch. You got Mark Whitten with a couple of good curveballs. He started Glenn Allen with the curveball. And so he's been watching a lot of curves. And then what does he do? He throws that fastball by him on the second strike.
Just gets a piece of this. Hill's got a very quick bat. He'll need one against Ryan.
So people forget. They think of Nolan Ryan and the Express and the 90-mile-an-hour fastball. But he gets a lot of strikeouts with that curveball.
He gets a lot of strikeouts, period. Oh, weights are the secret to Ryan's success at age 44. He didn't start using them the other day. Back in the early 70s, he began a weight program when he'd be, what, in his mid-20s, I guess. And it's paid off for him now. He said he lifts a total of 80,000 pounds a week. Not all in 1 hour, by the way.
Yeah, he does. He does a lot of abdominal work. He does a lot of leg work just to keep those areas strong, because all of that goes into the pitching. There it is. There's that curve.
Froze him. Absolutely froze him right there. He strikes out the side. 4 Ks on the night for Ryan as the Rangers go to their half of the second inning. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball from Texas. That too quick for you? Zipping right along here, huh? Yes, sir. Even regionally, we have to do this.
Are we? Is tonight's game a national or regional game?
Regional.
That's too bad.
Okay.
Too bad with Nolan.
I could welcome Newfoundland. They're always around on these, aren't they?
Or as Frank says, Newfoundland.
Why? And Florida. Yeah, I'll do the Florida ID. That's an idea. truck then, too.
Hitting off for the Rangers, number 21, right fielder.
Welcome viewers around the province of Ontario, the province of Newfoundland, and the state of Florida, watching on WTMV in the Tampa Clearwater area tonight. For the Texas Rangers, Ruben Sierra, the right fielder, batting cleanup. Starts the second inning of a scoreless game. The pitcher's duel is on, as advertised. Strike one from Jimmy Key to Sierra. Franco and Gonzalez will hit next. Last night, his first of 2 homers came in the first inning. Texas won that one 8-5 to begin this mini 2-game series.
Nothing new for Ruben Sierra either. Last year he had 373 against the Jays. And this is a young man, you look at 25 years of age. He already has 118 lifetime home runs in the major leagues.
Down low, his second last night was the game clincher off Jim Acker, a 3-run shot. Who was the last hitter before last night to hit 2 home runs against the Jays in 1 game. We'll leave you with that for a moment. Sierra is only 1 away from Larry Parrish's all-time club record for career homers in this ballpark as a Texas Ranger. He has 72. Parrish was 73. Fooled completely by that pitch. That's the finesse of a Jimmy Key that Corgi alluded to at the outset of our telecast. 1 out here in the second.
For the real purists, this is fun tonight, watching Jimmy Key paint and Nolan Ryan fire, but get some strikeouts with the curveball. And you heard Galen Cisco talking about Jimmy Key and the ability to get all the pitches over for strikes at any time of the count. And that was a good curveball there. He kept it down, and he had Sierra fooled.
It's been a slow start to the year for the next hitter, Julio Franco. But he's hit .333 in the last 8 games to up his average from 147 to 239, getting back to where he should be, the former Cleveland infielder. Strike 1 to him. Had a key base hit last night on the Texas win.
Every once in a while you see youngsters try to imitate Julio Franco with that stance. I wouldn't suggest it, but it certainly has worked for Julio Franco.
I can't imagine a coach ever advising a youngster to stand that way at the plate.
4 out of the last 5 years, this stance has hit over 300. He starts that way. Watch him bring his hands back and get them ready in the hitting. Right there.
Yep.
That is his way to get himself going. That's the way he feels comfortable. He's also been very comfortable against Jimmy Key over the years.
But he's tough on the high fastball. He'll hit it where it's pitched. That's down low, and he drives it foul. Last year he batted quite a bit on the number 2 spot. It cost him a lot of RBIs. 92 down to 69. Down and away, it's 2-2.
Think about Franco too. He has the power to all fields. He can hit the ball out to right field, and that's attested to the fact that he has some fans in the right field bleachers with a nice sign out there that said Julio's Dreamers, so they know he can hit the ball out that way too.
Well, his first 2 homer game was the night of Nolan Ryan's 6th no-hitter. Here's Lee with a test, and he's dropped the ball. He had it there in time, but it popped out of Olerud's mitt.
Out in front of that pitch a little bit. Nice play by Manuel Lee to get over and get in front of the ball. Slip. Plants, and the throw is low, but it's the short hop type throw that should be picked by a first baseman. It's been a struggle for John Olerud, working on his footwork, working on getting to the bag, even though that's to the back end. That's a short hop that should be picked more often than not by a first baseman.
having been one for so many years, will accept your theory on that. That error gives the Rangers their first base runner of the night for the DH young Juan Gonzalez from Puerto Rico. He takes it low for ball one. In just 128 games last year, look what he's done this year already. But last year, in 128 games, over 100 runs driven in and 28 home runs. He has a mighty bat. 1 ball, 1 strike to him.
Well, when you think about it, an outfield that can put together a couple of youngsters, mentioned Ruben Sierra, 25, Gonzalez just 21 years of age, and they think the world of Juan Gonzalez. They were a little hurt in spring training. Mid-March he had knee surgery on his right knee, but he came back quickly.
Let's get back to that question about the last to victimize the Jays for 2 home runs.
Well, we know it was last year.
Last night.
It wasn't this year.
Joe Carter. Thank goodness he will not do that to them anymore. September of '89 with the Cleveland Indians.
Nobody hit 2 last year, huh?
Well, somebody hit more last year. Cecil Fielder
hit 3. Cecil hit 3, yeah.
In one game. But if you want to be correct, 2. That's what it was. The question was 2.
All right, we just read them the way they're printed.
That's right. One ball, 2 strikes. Gonzalez count with Franco at first. 1 out. Rangers trying to get Nolan Ryan a lead. Gonzalez hits that pretty well. Mark Whitten's going back. He'll take it off the wall. The great arm, though, will hold the runner at third base. Franco had no thoughts of coming home.
This shows you what this 21-year-old can do. Out over the plate, he just goes with it. Nice little bit of decoy by Mark Whitten. Kind of held his hands up as if he might make a catch. See, he put his hand up right there. And I don't know if that froze Franco or not, but Franco could only make it to third because he also knew the strong arm of Mark Whitten, and Mark got it into the cutoff man perfectly. See him hold that hand up right there? Either saying that it might be out for a home run, so Franco might slow up a little bit.
That's what I thought he was doing, yeah.
Putting up, saying, "Ah, this ball's out of here, it's a home run." So if Franco sees that, he might just shorten up a step or 2. Hey, it might have worked.
Well, the catcher, Mike Stanley, is up, starting his 5th game. Stanley comes in hitting .214 and takes strike 1. Platoons here with former Blue Jay Gino Petrale. Pitch just missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, and because of that situation, he hasn't seen a lot of action because the Texas Rangers have seen mostly right-handed pitchers. Too many left-handers have gone up against Bobby Valentine's crew.
He misses inside. Yeah, he hit 104 points higher against left-handed pitching than right-handed pitching. He hasn't got much pop to his bat, just 11 extra base hits last year.
But he too can go the other way. I've seen him hit some balls hard to the right center field gap.
Down low, 3-1. Key a pitch away from loading the bases for third baseman Steve Buechele.
Jimmy does have his work cut out for him tonight. Last year, he was 8-2 against Eastern Division clubs, 5-5 against the West. And in 8 ball games here in Arlington over his career, he's 0-2 with a handful of no decisions. So he's never won a ball game here in Texas.
That is ball 4 to load the bases for Buechele. Remind you, a cash donation will be made to the Schizophrenia Society of Canada on behalf of the Labatt's Blue Player of the Game for Toronto and Canon, makers of the Canon E08 camcorder, innovatively designed, lightweight and compact. The Canon E0 is packed with features too numerous to mention. With Canon, good things do come in small packages. So over at third base is Franco on the air by Olu that started all this. The double by Gonzalez has him at second, and the walk to Stanley leaves him at first for Steve Buechele. Buechele trying to extend a hit streak to 5 games, takes strike 1. He likes this ballpark. He hits .375 here at present.
Buechele's one of those players who just kind of quietly goes about his job. He's been pretty steady. An injury, a broken wrist, kept him out of action for a few games last year, but up until that point, he'd averaged about 150 games a year.
Not very deep. Coming on from left field is Joe Carter. Franco will stop right there. No chance to score from that range, from that arm. 2 gone now.
Joe looking back, saying it's a little tough right now, all that twilight. This is a tough time of the evening to get those balls popped high in the air. And anytime you have a long way to go, long strides, you want to stay on the balls of your feet and kind of tippy-toe. If you start lumbering in and running on your heels, you start bouncing around too much. As soon as you do that, the head starts bobbing, and then you have a chance to drop the ball.
Well, the next hitter, the shortstop, Jeff Houston, doesn't see a lot of action against left-handers. Only 7 games against left-handed pitching last year. Very little power. But the Rangers would settle for a Houston single right here. Hitting with the bases loaded. And 2 out in the Rangers' second of a scoreless game. Strike 1. Tim Sheeta gives that the key, and the fans murmur their disapproval. It's been a rather inconsistent strike zone tonight.
Even though that pitch was on the corner or outside, it was away from Houston, and he was bailing as it was, not seeing a lot of left-handers.
Key will take care of this himself. Olerud squeezes it, and the Rangers leave the bases loaded.
That was a good pitch.
To get out from under. 3 stranded, no score through 2 on Labatt's Blue Jays baseball.
Now turn to page 51 in your Rangers souvenir program. Page 51 is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Lucky number on page.
Incarcerated for that.
Texas Rangers will host the Boston Red Sox on Saturday, May 18th. It is Coca-Cola.
We'll head up to the bar and talk about that one.
Will receive authentic Bruno Slugger bat. Compliments of Coca-Cola and Kroger and the Rangers. Though this is Coca-Cola and Kroger bat night, May 18th, the Rangers take on the Red Sox.
Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV, brought to you by Esso Associates and Imperial Oil. You're on your way with Esso. Greg Myers, you're in the best shape you've ever been in. What did you do in spring training?
Well, we got the new conditioning coach, Rick Knox, and I worked out quite a bit with him. Every other day I'd go to the health spa with him and do a little bit extra. Plus, Sully works as hard in spring, too.
Greg Myers has seen the lion's share of work behind the plate. He's appeared in 15 to 21 games so far. That kind of rotation has come up. The Jays have seen more right-handers against them than left. He's lost some weight. Looks to be in the best shape, certainly, of his major league career.
Now, the thing that Greg's going to have to continue, even though he's been catching a lot as the season progresses, you still have to do some working out. Playing alone isn't going to just keep you in shape and get you strong.
On the first pitch in foul territory, Buechele has it. Ryan with a perfect record except the walk to Gruber, third man he faced in the first inning.
And looking at Greg Meyer, seeing the good shape that he is in, one who can attest to that, Nolan Ryan, but another veteran catcher, Carlton Fisk, who works out a couple of times a week after ball games.
The Rangers return the visit to Toronto May 7th and 8th. Ryan, if the rotation holds, will likely pitch at the Skydome. He has never pitched at that facility. He'd like to add that to his list of major league parks he has won at least one game in. This is high to Manuel Lee. He has 2 he can never get back. He's won in 30 of the 32 parks he has pitched in. That's a strike. He can never do it in Forbes Field, Pittsburgh, or Municipal Stadium in Kansas City. Skydome, he certainly can and probably will. Strike 2.
Did you hear the grunt?
Yes.
And it's funny, if you could only pick this up as a hitter, Nolan only grunts on the fastball. He throws the curveball, he doesn't grunt, only on the fastball.
And he's grunting now, I'll tell you. Strikeout number 5 for Ryan.
Well, you see the fastball, then what does he do? There's that big curveball. It's hard to stay away from when you have 2 strikes.
The CTV telecast is presented by authority of the Toronto Blue Jays Baseball Club and may not be rebroadcast in any form without the express written consent of the Toronto Blue Jays. Devon White, now 1 for 23 lifetime, takes strike 1. Performance tonight is he's doing it with almost the minimum pitches.
Yeah, there's a couple of keys in watching Nolan Ryan over the years. Does he get his fastball in spots? He's done that tonight. Does he get the curveball over consistently? He's done that tonight. So you'd have to say early on, and it's very easy to look at the numbers with 5 strikeouts, he is on his game.
Driven to left field, out of play. You never know. You're looking at a man 44 years of age who threw 131 pitches in his last start. He looks as fresh as can be.
Well, all those exercises, the riding of the stationary bicycle, the weights, the throwing in between starts, that's why he's ready.
In that last start, covering 8 1/3, he gave up 8 hits and 5 runs. Approaching that here. That's his 6th strikeout. He's retired 7 straight, breezing past Blue Jay hitters. From deep in the heart of Texas, Labatt's Blue Jays baseball.
Play the new Walt Disney World Baseball Magic at A&P in Dominion. Win a trip for 2 to Orlando, Florida, home of Walt Disney World Resort. All trips provided by Canadian Holidays, a world of vacations. Or win $500 in Thomas Cook MasterCard Traveler's Checks, a Texas Instruments 64K organizer, Royal Dalton Dinnerware, or from Walters Jewelers and Longines Wittenauer Watch. This week's features, Glad Garbage Bags, the strong ones, and Kleenex Facial Tissue, softness and strength.
Get ready, you may be selected to play along, and you might win 2 tickets to a future Rangers game.
Yeah, tee-tee-tum, pitching today?
He pitched the other night.
Oh, well, then
he's 3-1.
Well, then he's got more strikeouts. There's 2 behind him starting today.
Yeah, Gooden pitched either. He pitched last night. They got fogged. Some of the game was fogged.
Oh, yeah? Well, then
he pitched in that game, got the win. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's 2 behind him, so now he's ahead.
Center fielder Gary Pettis.
Bottom of the 3rd inning in the top of the Texas order. Here's Gary Pettis showing bunt and taking strike.
And something they would like to see more of, something the Angels, the Tigers, other teams that Gary Pettis played for wanted to see more of. More bunting.
Now it is strike 2.
And less of that.
Much less. That has dogged him throughout his career.
You know, the only other major league player that had as many 100 strikeout years and fewer than 5 or 6 home runs have the name of Omar Moreno. Remember him with the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Redirected by Key, and it's one of these plays you talked about it the other day at the Sky Dome, Tommy, that the pitcher, and he knew it right away, wishes he had never touched.
And you certainly can't take anything away from a pitcher, because it's your natural reaction to field your position, to try to go after the ball. Jimmy does that, but unfortunately, and you can see his reaction.
Sure.
As soon as it went off his glove, he knew that if he had let it go, Manuel Lee would have made the play.
It's an infield single for Pettis, and the batter left fielder. Already grounding out to Kelly Gruber in the 1st inning. Already a switch hitter with much more power from the left side. Pushes a bunt foul. He's got his dudes on hand here in Arlington.
I could surf me up in Arlington.
It's tough finding a pond here, let alone something with surf on it.
Expect to see that in Anaheim, maybe.
We are out on the Bold Prairie.
Totally awesome.
Bunts it foul again. It's 0-2. Well, on Saturday, they will be at the post. CTV's Wide World of Sports will feature exclusive coverage of horse racing's first race in the Triple Crown. It's #1 Jewel, the Kentucky Derby, live from Churchill Downs in Louisville. Big field. Hansel, one to watch, and a horse with no tail. Sea Cadet may be there as well. Be a great name for a song, a horse with no tail.
I guess you can't depend on any kind of a tailwind then.
He has less to carry along across the line.
You can see what Bobby Valentine's trying to do here early in the game. He had Doherty up there, and not too often do you see a #2 hitter try to bunt with 2 strikes, because if you foul it off, this is what happens. You're a strikeout victim and you're out. But knowing the way Nolan Ryan's pitching, seeing him go through the first 3 innings, he realizes that 1 run might be enough, and that's what he wants to get.
Well, let me ask you this. Why would he have a guy do it on a 3rd strike who done it so badly on the first 2?
He probably thinks he's a better bunter than he showed.
Didn't show it there. Here's Palmeiro.
And he's also hitting just a little over 100.
Raphael fly to deep center. On the warning track to Devon White. First time up. You're seeing what Pettis may be up to over at first base.
One of the other things that Gary Pettis brings to a baseball diamond is his ability to steal bases too. So Jimmy Key's going to have to keep a close eye, especially after Doherty failed to move him over to second.
A little high. Ball 1. The eyes of Tim Sheeta. Coaching at third base, Dave Oliver. Texas great Toby Harris over at first. They're throwing 10 straight strikes. That's the first ball that we've seen from Jimmy Key in a while. Distracted by the base runner, to be sure. Now it's ball 2.
Well, what a wild game they had at County Stadium in Milwaukee. 6 hours and 5 minutes in 19 innings. The Brewers 10, the Chicago White Sox 9.
That's after they tied it in a 3-run 15th inning. Rod Black will have more on that later. Solid single from Palmeiro at the feet of Whitten sends Pettis to second base with 1 out. It's the 3rd hit of Jimmy Key.
Already the strong arm of Mark Whitten being respected in the American League. That's why Rafael Palmeiro hits left-handers so well, and also why he hit .390 against the Jays last year. But Pettis, with outstanding speed, never hesitated, took a good turn around second, but he knew all along that he wasn't going to go first to third on that base hit.
Yeah, we've seen some great arms over the years. Remember Sixto Lezcano and, of course, Jesse Barfield of the Jays, now the Yankees. Now Mark Whitten, as good as any. Here is Ruben Sierra. Struck out. You know, a lot of these Texas players, Jeff Russell, the reliever, has done a lot. If you look at Jimmy Key, Sierra, a lot for charity as well. He gives tickets to Hispanic youth groups every single Friday night. When the Rangers at home, he gives a lot of tickets away to youngsters. Over at third base, it's past Gruber, and the Rangers will get a run. Myers' snap throw between Kelly's legs. Pettis scores 1-0 Texas. Part about that is that he might have had him.
I'm not so sure. Pettis got a pretty good jump, and you can see he's about ready to slide.
Ooh.
It would have been close, but what happened, Greg Myers never got a full grip on the ball, and he never really was able to get off the strong throw, and the ball skips past Kelly. Kelly was there to try to block it, but the ball took that skip to his right and went down the left field line.
So it's a stolen base and an error to the catcher, allowing the run to score. Toronto's second error of the night. Palmeiro to second on the play. Now Sierra to left field. Back and gone into the night sky of Texas. The Rangers lead 3-0. Fans have to wish that Sierra might take a siesta. He's been murder in this 2-game series.
A breaking ball. He just opened things up and shows the power that he has. The amazing thing about Sierra with his 2 home runs in the ball game. 7 times he's hit 2 home runs. That's a pretty good pitch. Look at Myers' mitt. He's going to go down and inside to make the catch, and it was right in the wheelhouse of Ruben Sierra. But of the 7 times he's hit 2 home runs in a ball game, 3 of those times he's done it against the Toronto Blue Jays.
That is just the 2nd home run that Key has given up this year. Sierra on the 50th pitch by Key unloads on a 1-1 count. Rangers lead 3-0 here, staking Ryan to the lead he had looked for.
You know, that pitch was borderline being maybe a ball if he doesn't swing.
Julio Franco. Strike 1. Inside to him, 1 ball, 1 strike. The Rangers have won 5 of their last 6 games versus the Blue Jays here at Arlington. That streak may just continue with Ryan pitching as Gruber throws out Franco. 2 gone in the inning.
Designated hitter, one gun.
Now Gonzalez, who doubled to ignite a big rally in the second, that just fell short. Rangers left the bases loaded there.
I tell you, this stadium holds a shade over 40,000. They're going to have close to that tonight.
Just a gorgeous night to watch a ball game. These fans capitalizing on that, the fact that Ryan is on the mound. Key with a strike to Gonzalez.
Not only do they sell out usually when Ryan pitches, but the television ratings down here always jump a couple of points too. They get the highest ratings when Nolan Ryan pitches, and I would imagine that we've got a good chance of getting good ratings too.
You know what, oddly enough, Texas not on local television tonight.
Yeah. This game is not on their schedule, but they had no way of knowing that Ryan, that far in advance, would pitch. We said it was a little high school park that just kept on growing as the Rangers grew. We've seen it change over the years.
I'll tell you how I've seen this stadium change, Chevy. In 1966, as a member of the Texas League All-Star team, we played the Houston Colt 45 baseball team. That's what they were called early on. We played them right here in this stadium.
Gruber backs up, the ball plays him, and safe is Gonzalez. The Jays have had their defensive jitters tonight.
Well, we talked earlier, Fergie mentioned the fact that Kelly Gruber battling the flu and not feeling 100%, but it'll make him feel even worse. After you back up, as soon as you make that one step back, it always seems that ball stays down, doesn't do what you want it to do, and you can't come up and make the play. We saw John Olerud with a couple of plays like that up in the Sky Dome.
That's 3 errors for the Blue Jays, 2 with the glove and 1 with the arm. Mike Stanley, the catcher, is the 7th hitter of the Texas 3rd inning. That's low ball 1. It all began when Pettis singled. After Doherty struck out, Palmero singled, a stolen base, an error by Myers, then the 2-run homer by Sierra, and it's 3-0 Rangers. Always tough when a pitcher like Jimmy Key has to make 4, maybe 5 outs in an inning to get out of here.
Tough on any pitcher. Anytime you go out there and you make some pitches and you think you should be out of the inning, and then you look up and see the 3 under the E and 0s under the R and H.
The nastiest letter in the alphabet for baseball, the E. Great grab by Manuel Lee. Somehow he retained it and his balance to flip to Alomar, and they get out of the inning, but not before the Rangers lied the range for 3.
Watch this again. This was more than great. This was outstanding. Manuel Lee fully extended. Somehow the ball stays in the mitt. The easy flip for the force.
We're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball.
Number 3-2-1. Number 5 is a gift certificate from I Can't Believe His Children. Now turn to page 54. Page 54, brought to you by Decker Foods. Number on page 54, 247-689. Lucky number 5 is a gift certificate from Decker Foods. Your prizes at the Personal Services Office.
You never have played well here, have they?
No.
On Friday night, May 17th.
Not the last few years.
Corn dogs, Wrist Pal, and batting glove night. All youngsters 13.
That's tough when you have just a 2-game series and then you get beat the first game and you know you got Nolan the second game.
Yeah.
The Rangers and the Red Sox, Friday, May 17th, State Fair Corn Dogs, Wrist Pal, and batting glove night.
Hope ours is a little faster than that.
Kids 12 and under can celebrate their birthday at Arlington Stadium by joining the Rangers Dairy Queen Birthday Bunch. Each birthday bunch member receives 1 ticket to a game, but in front of the Rangers snack pack, a free Dairy Queen Royal treat at any on Rangers Diamond Division.
Thanks, Chip.
We direct your attention to Rangers Diamond Division and tonight's members of the Rangers.
Is that chip or cheap? What did you say?
Information on how your boy or girl can join the Rangers Dairy Queen Birthday Bunch.
What?
Stop by any participating Dairy Queen and call Remington at 817-273-5100. For Ruben Sierra's home run, section 308, row 6, seat 3. It's barbecue dinner from Spring Creek Barbecue.
dozen strikeouts on the wall tonight for Ryan. That, by the way, sends him ahead of Dwight Gooden as the major league strikeout leader in the season of 1991. This remarkable 44-year-old.
Pitching coach Tom House, Nolan Ryan, this is his 3rd year in the Texas Rangers. Since you first had him, has he lost anything off his fastball?
No, surprisingly, he's right where he belongs, and if anything, this is the fastest fastball he's had in April since he's been with us.
That's not good news for this league. Pitching to Roberto Alomar with a 1-0 count. He gets the strike call there, 1-1. Every ball player remembers their first major league hit, but Alomar doubly so because it came off Nolan Ryan. A little high, that's ball 2.
That when Roberto was with the Padres and Nolan Ryan was with the Houston Astros.
In fact, he's 2 for 6 lifetime against Nolan.
You know, you talked, Chevy, about the trade way back when Nolan was with the Mets and the Mets acquired Jim Fregosi. But you also have to remember that Nolan's record was 29-38 in his 4+ seasons with the Mets. He was a young, hard-throwing right-hander that was extremely wild. You're talking about a pitcher who was 9 games under 500 at that time, and the Mets desperately needed a third baseman. And so they acquired Fregosi. It's easy to look back on that and say, what a crazy trade.
How were they to know he'd be a late bloomer? 7 strikeouts now. Well, here's some of the father and son victims of Nolan Ryan. Roberto, Sandy, and Dad.
You've got everybody in the Alomar family.
The Franconas, the Bonds, the Griffeys, the Schofields, and the Wills.
Wow.
He has struck out a ton of Hall of Famers, too.
Roberto was telling me that he and his brother Sandy used to play with Barry Bonds in this ballpark when Roberto's father played for Texas for 4 seasons.
High heat. Gruber swings through that 0-2.
Well, you know the kind of career you've had when you go to your dad and ask him how to hit a certain guy.
Yeah.
How'd you hit Nolan?
No better than you, my son. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
So far with Kelly Gruber, Nolan with 2 fastballs up that Kelly missed, and then he came back with the curveball.
Now, number 1 victim, Claudell Washington. Hope Nolan sends him a Christmas card.
Hey, look at that, number 1, one time.
Now, here's a tough guy at the bottom. Only once did he get Tommy Hunt. And hangs up for the left fielder, Jack Doherty. 2 gone in the 4th inning. Do you remember that one?
You know, it's funny. I was talking about that earlier because having faced Nolan a few times, a couple of games as a member of the Blue Jays and a few times with the Expos when Nolan was with Houston. The 1 strikeout, believe it or not, I don't remember, but I do remember 2 doubles.
Remember the positive things.
Yeah, that's right. I only think positive. But just a battle all the way.
Joe Carter pops one up. Stanley back as far as he can go, and it's out of play.
I was telling you earlier that the 1 double, and the thing that stands out in my mind, it was in Anaheim when I was a member of the Jays. The next hitter was a pinch hitter, Sam Ewing. I think a lot of Jays fans remember the left-handed back coming off the bench. And Ewing went up there and standing at second base watching Nolan Ryan pitch against Ewing. There was no way Sam Ewing was going to get. Babe Ruth wouldn't have gotten a hit off Nolan the way he pitched him. It was like he said to himself, how could I let this guy hit a double off me? There's no way this next guy is going to get me.
Carter holds back. It's a ball and 2 strikes to him. Since the walk to Gruber, which led to nothing, he has retired 9 straight. He has struck out 7. It came off Carter and is a foul ball.
That that's a call that the home plate umpire needs a little help. And that time, Tim Cheetah got help from Drew Coble at first base. Cheetah may have called it right off himself, but see, no call right away from Cheetah. The first base umpire, Drew Coble, is the one that said the ball did catch, and it did indeed, seeing the replay, catch the front foot of Joe Carter.
8 strikeouts, 10 in a row retired. Ryan in no-hit range once again here in Texas tonight. Has slammed the door on the Blue Jays for a 3-0 lead in Labatt's Blue Jays baseball. Goodness.
When we get back, I got to tell you what's going on right now in baseball. You know, all the guys sitting in the clubhouse watching Ricky Henderson.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden around the big leagues, word gets out that Nolan's got 8 after 4 innings and a no-hitter.
Yeah.
And guys in the clubhouse know all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Coca-Cola Classic.
8th annual Texas Rangers Coaches Clinic is set for...
How about those Pistons?
Wednesday, June 12th, Friday, June 14th through Sunday, June 16th. Each session will run from 9 until noon each day. Instruction beginning by the Rangers coaching staff with experiences by Rangers players each day. The emphasis being on hitting, pitching, and fielding with actual on-field instruction taking place on the Arlington Stadium playing field and in the indoor batting cage. In addition, all 20 participants will receive a Rangers hat courtesy of Bobby Valentine Sports Gallery Cafe. Also included is a complete tour of the Rangers clubhouse. Coaches Clinic is open to all visitors between the ages of 7 and 17. For more information, call
Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV. Brought to you by your local bottler of Coca-Cola Classic. You can't beat the real thing.
The Texas Rangers hitting in the home half of the 4th inning here in Arlington tonight. The third baseman Steve Buechele at the plate. He flied to left in the 2nd and takes strike 1 from Jimmy Key. Jeff Houston and Gary Pettis will be following Buechele in this inning.
I think what's going through Jimmy Key's mind right now. He just finished an inning in which he allowed the 2-run homer. He saw his ball club make a couple of errors behind him in that inning. He's been watching Nolan Ryan, and you almost have to think Jimmy thinking, is this club going to score off Nolan? So he's got to really bear down and come back after the way things happened in the 3rd inning.
That is strike 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes. You were saying between innings how word can spread so fast around Major League Baseball. Already press boxes and clubhouses are buzzing about what Ryan is doing here in Texas tonight. Solid single past Lee. Carter to beat it and limit Buechele to a single. That's 5 base hits now from Key.
And they don't boo Steve Buechele here in Arlington. That's just their call for him. Boo. And he goes down, and nice play by Joe Carter to quickly get over into the gap. And if Joe Carter can't throw, if he doesn't have a strong arm right here, Buechele takes a bigger turn and might think about going to second base. See how deep Carter is? But he's able to come up with a strong throw and hold Buechele to the single.
So the shortstop, Jeff Houston, shows by. Key finally dug the ball out and throws him out. Buechele advances to second on the sacrifice.
Houston, a former Expo, you talked about him being in the lineup even though he's a left-handed hitter. Mario Diaz, another infielder with Texas, he's a little bit under the weather. He's got some bad flu himself, or he may have been in there.
Jimmy's a good fielding pitcher, but here he had a little bit of trouble getting the ball out.
He scoops it up. Ball deeper in his glove than he thought.
Still plenty of time to get him.
That's right. He maintains his composure and makes a play. Henderson last year as a rookie was able to put together some pretty good stats.
Yeah, not until last year really known for his bat. Gary Pettis, same story. Not known for his bat, but he made a contribution in the 3rd inning. A single that went off the glove of Jimmy Key got the inning rolling for Texas to score 3. 1 strike.
Yeah, talking about how word gets around. You and I were in the clubhouse, the Jays clubhouse, when they were all watching the TV when Ricky Henderson picked up the record-breaking steal, 9:39 to break Lou Brock's record. All around baseball right now, press boxes, dugouts are hearing the word that Nolan Ryan, after 4, has the no-hitter, but also has 8 strikeouts after 4 innings.
What happens if you're in a newsroom of a newspaper or TV or radio station? The wire will start noting it every half inning, keeping track.
Seeing Gary Pettis up there and mentioning Ricky Henderson, Pettis with over 300 lifetime steals. Had a nice conversation with Davey Lopes. Davey Lopes, one of Bobby Valentine's coaches, 557 stolen bases in his fine career. And we talked a lot about stolen bases, the head first slide as opposed to the straight on slide.
There's Pettis, the 3rd strikeout for Jimmy Key.
His career was more of an advocate of that straight on slide. This again is a problem that Pettis has had over his entire career. You expect the Incavillas and the Rob Deers and, well, let me just name the rest of the Tiger offense.
Yeah, you
expect them to strike out, but not hitters such as a Gary Pettis, but he always has.
This is Jack Doherty. He's 0 for 2. Well, you can kid about the Tigers and their strikeouts, but really there's some other teams approaching Detroit in strikeout totals. Baltimore is one of them.
Baltimore and Oakland right there with them.
That's the surprising thing about the Oakland A's. 7 strikeouts as a team back of what the Tigers have done. Well, Doherty down to 105 now with the 0 for 2 performance tonight. He grounded out, then struck out. Like the Blue Jays with White and Alomar, Valentine responds with Pettis and Doherty, 2 switch hitters off the top. Breaking ball is there for a strike.
See that last pitch? If you recall the pitch that Ruben Sierra hit for the home run. Now that was a good pitch. That curveball to Doherty was almost the same place that Jimmy Key made that pitch that Sierra hit out for the 2-run shot.
Here's the 2-1. Jeff's got a piece of that. 2 balls and 2 strikes now with 2 gone, and Steve Buechele growing old at second base.
A little bit of good news, I guess, for the Orioles. Speaking of them, with Glenn Davis and his nerve problem in the upper neck and back area, I guess he'll have to be out for about a month, but at least no surgery.
And at least he will not miss the rest of the season at $3.1 million. Doherty pops that up on the right side. It is drifting back toward the seats and will just be out of play. Skies tonight. This is the flight path into DFW, and then helicopters up there and signs being flashed overhead Arlington Stadium.
Are you sure that's a helicopter?
Maybe something from some other planet. At least from Fort Worth. 3-0 Texas. Here's the 2-2, and he fouls that back.
It was always kind of a battle between the two cities. The stadium, as you mentioned, in between Dallas and Fort Worth, and they plan in 1994 to have a new stadium just about a mile away, but the original thought was to have it either in Dallas or Fort Worth, and there was so much problems between the two cities they decided to keep it in Arlington.
They have such a rivalry here in Texas that many consider Oklahoma to be another planet. Down to Gruber. He'll make the tag on Buechele and take care of the inning that way. Buechele a little bit shocked that the play was coming his way. So Doherty, on the fielder's choice, ends the inning on the tag of Gruber of Buechele.
Good choice by Kelly Gruber, though.
3-0 on the bats. Blue Jays baseball from Texas.
Number on page 63, 544-413.
Thank you for adjusting that sound.
Yes. Much easier.
Yeah.
Page 64, brought to you by MLB Motor Oil. Lucky number on page 64, 420616.
Did you find out about that place on the corner?
Nobody seemed to know of any other Mexican place near here. There's got to be.
It's on the corner, just as you come off.
Not that. Is it? It's not one of those Chili's.
No,
okay.
no. It's called something Jerry's or something. Did you come off? No, they close at 11.
They stopped serving food at 11 o'clock.
We're gonna head, but,
yeah,
no.
well, you were on the weekend.
Donkeys, they close early.
I called over there today.
If the game goes quickly, we can get there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
Yeah, let's go there.
I don't know.
It should be. No, it's called something Jerry's. What? What a Harry thought that is.
Get the day after that happened, a couple of days after we're doing the game in Texas. Yeah. guy laced. Boy, he laced that ball into center field, didn't he? When Billy Martin got.
Oh.
That was the place he was.
Yeah,
that was
right.
the name of the place he was.
Yeah.
Heading off for the Blue Jays, first baseman John Olerud.
Happy couple.
Mm-hmm. Seem to be.
Come on, step out here. Don't get a hit here. At least wait till we're back.
Working quickly to first baseman John Olerud as the ball on the strike to the young Blue Jay. As the Blue Jays hit in the 5th inning, totally frustrated so far by Ryan, Mark Whitten, and Glenn Allen Hill, scheduled after Olerud. That missed 2-1.
That was that fastball that Nolan Ryan will throw more often to left-handers than to right-handers. Just get it to sink. More of a sinking fastball than the rising fastball that he throws so often.
Just a piece of it. 2-2.
He sinks one away, then he comes in with the next one. Tries to get it up in under the hands.
Well, I mentioned 19 Hall of Famers have been strikeout victims of Ryan. Some great names on the list. He spares no one, it seems.
Some of the names. I mean, Eddie Matthews.
Goes back a while. Yeah, 25th season. That's Sales.
Well, that just took off.
2. Yeah. It's the 3rd time he has run the count full. And has not done so since the 1st inning.
From Alvin, Texas.
You know what kind of a pitcher his son is. I know he had a game he pitched against him at the University of Texas preseason.
Yeah, he's just a freshman, and he hasn't pitched a lot. Right now, his son, they say, throws in the low 80s. May get a little bit better, but isn't an overpowering type pitcher right now.
He beat his son in that game 12-5, working 5 innings. fifth. Olerud did well to make contact. Houston, the shortstop, back to gather it in. 11 in a row set down by Ryan. Now again, Gruber's walk. Third man to face him first inning. The only blemish on his record.
Well, Nolan Ryan here in Texas can do no wrong. As a matter of fact, the Texas Senate voted a portion of State Highway 288, which runs through Alvin, Texas, to be called the Nolan Ryan Expressway. And one of the senators, Senator Brown, even said after that vote passed and they named that Nolan Ryan Expressway, said, jokingly of course, he said, this is the only expressway where you can drive 94 miles an hour.
You know, you saw that list of old timers that Nolan had struck out. I went around to all the Blue Jay coaches and asked them, you know, if they had faced Nolan Ryan and what happened. Rich Hacker, the third base coach, said he only faced it once and he struck him out. Mike Squires said he was 5 for 11 with a couple of strikeouts off Nolan. John Sullivan said that Ryan would have had to come to the minor leagues to strike him out. Gene Tennis, well, he said the only home run he ever hit off Nolan was a 3-run shot out in Oakland. And Cito said he's never hit a home run. You know, and Cito had a big year. One year he had 29 home runs for San Diego.
Yeah, they all have Ryan stories to tell.
But an at-bat against Nolan Ryan is one you always remember.
He's 3-0 to Mark Whitten. Strike one. It has been a long time for Nolan Ryan between no-hitters. June 11th of last year was number 6. Working on one tonight. Into center field. Playable for Gary Pettis. 2 out in the inning.
Yeah, he's the only pitcher, obviously, with all the no-hitters. The only one who's thrown no-hitters in 3 different decades, too. 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Why do you hate to jinx him? I think that's nonsense, frankly. The charm of CTV may strike again tonight. We were lucky enough last year to televise 2 no-hit games. Dave Stewart in the Sky Dome and Dave Steeb in Cleveland. Now this tonight into the 5th inning with 2 gone. Nolan Ryan has not given up a hit. And Glenn Allen Hill in just his 2nd at bat against Ryan. Strike one. Did that the first time. Struck out. He has fanned 8 on the night. Reminder on Saturday in your area, Toronto and Kansas City. Check for it the starting time. It's a regional telecast over many of these stations. Boy, that high heat, and Hill just can't handle it.
Yeah, that's the same thing he did to Glenn Allen last time up. He sees that the young hitter is going after the high fastball, the one that's out of the strike zone, so he's just going to keep feeding it there, or maybe come back with the curve that's out of the strike zone. He goes right back upstairs.
More of the same. Inning is over. Hill goes back to talk to the umpire about what I know not. 9 strikeouts for Nolan Ryan. As long as you swing, the umpire's going to call it. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball. Viewers looking in tonight in Newfoundland on CJON TV, our presentation from Arlington, Texas. This large crowd, almost 40,000 here in Texas, rewarded so far with a bid for a 7th no-hitter by Nolan Ryan. He's got the lead 3-0, and this trio will try to add to it right here, starting with Rafael Palmeiro, the first baseman. He launches that to right, but Whitten has room. Ball held up in the night air, and that's the first out of the 5th inning. Let's pause now for this word.
Right fielder Ruben Sierra.
help strike out ileitis and colitis. These bowel diseases afflict over 200,000 Canadians. Your donation will provide research funds to help find a cure for colitis and Crohn's disease. Call today and help strike out ileitis and colitis. 387-1479.
Next up, Ruben Sierra, one-man wrecking crew for the Blue Jays. 3 home runs in 2 nights here in Texas. His blast in the 3rd gave them a 3-0 lead.
You have to like the way Jimmy Key came back in the 4th inning, even though he allowed that base hit to Bouchel, leading things off after the disastrous 3rd. He came back and was able to shut down the Rangers.
You saw the numbers on Sierra against Jimmy Key a moment ago. It doesn't hit well for average, but does with power. Two balls and 1 strike. Red Sox are scoreless with Minnesota. Rod Black's going to tell you all about that and the rest of the action in baseball today a little later. Again, restraint by Sierra at 3-1.
Say one of the things that sometimes goes unnoticed concerning Ruben Sierra, over the last 4 seasons, the fewest amount of games he's played is 156. So he goes out there even when he has some minor injuries. He had a few of those problems last year, a few little minor nagging injuries.
Key gets this. Smartly approaches the bag. 2 gone. Jimmy Key, a very good fielding pitcher, as Blue Jay fans know, along with Dave Steve.
Yeah, that was a nice play, because had the ball gotten by Jimmy Key, John Olerud was well off the bag. There was nobody at first. But once Jimmy made that play, just touches the bag easily. Took it all the way.
Julio Franco and Blue Jays Manuel Lee have something in common, apart from both being from the Dominican Republic, of course. They're both natural shortstops. He became second baseman. Of course, Lee's back at short now with Tony Fernandez gone, but Franco's been over at second base, not his normal position, for 3 seasons.
How about these 3 young players that came up in the Philadelphia Phillies organization? Julio Franco, Juan Samuel, who's now with the Dodgers, and Ryan Sandberg, who's with the Chicago Cubs.
Fading toward the seats. Olerud can't get to it. 2 strikes.
That's some pretty good young players right there.
A lot of talent.
And none of them with the Phillies right now.
That's why the Phillies are where they are.
Yeah, Julio Franco, too, with the All-Star game coming up in July at the Sky Dome. Julio Franco was the All-Star MVP last year. Had a big double off Rob Dibble. Drove home a couple of runs for the American League.
He holds back, takes the ball, 1-2. The fans who came to the ballpark tonight certainly have gotten their money's worth already from Nolan Ryan. No matter what happens from now on. There's Franco striking out to end the 5th inning for Texas. They continue to lead by a score of 3-0, and let's see what's happening elsewhere in the world of sports. We'll check in at CTV Sports Control with Rod Black.
How do they handle that, like say in Florida, right? Winners depart from Delta's Easy Street Terminal 4B.
Do they pick up
Delta, the official airline of the Rangers.
You want that?
Yeah, diet, yeah.
Okay. Bring a couple of napkins to put underneath the knee. Excuse me.
For the Blue Jays, catcher Greg.
Well, I wonder what this guy's like first thing in the morning. Or these. The 9 Ks displayed here by some of Ryan's fans as he works to Greg Myers, the Blue Jay catcher, and starts him with a strike.
That was your old fraternity, wasn't it?
Very old. You can do that when the night air is 77 Fahrenheit. And Willie, and then Devon White. Stay on. Well, he's gone to a full count a few times. No real signs of wildness on the part of Nolan Ryan whatsoever. Just the one walk to Gruber. Misses with that one. We'll go 3-1 here. Struck out 9, as we have told you. And everybody else has been popped up. Just one ground ball out by Alomar to second base in the first inning. And strike 2. So he's got a full count for the 4th time tonight. There is the line on Ryan. No hits. Leading 3-0. He's thrown 71 pitches at this point. The Blue Jays 6th inning. High and through it goes Myers. They just can't lay off the high hard ones. Strikeout number 10.
When it gets up in that territory with 2 strikes, you're right. It's one of the toughest pitches to stay away from. And with 10 strikeouts now, Nolan Ryan in his career 208 times has struck out 10 or more.
He goes on and on. Lee makes contact. Coming hard is Pettis to get it. The no-hitter's intact. That ball was fading fast. An outfielder with lesser speed might not have gotten there.
Yeah, remember Bobby Valentine's decision to not have Brian Downing in as the DH. If Downing's the DH, Juan Gonzalez is in center field with a sore hamstring and not Gary Pettis. Pettis, 5 times his 1 Gold Gloves, came a long way to make that catch.
Ryan owes him one. 2 gone here in the 6th inning. And the drama continues with the at-bat of Devon White, who struck out twice.
I was just looking back. One of the no-hitters that Nolan Ryan pitched as a member of the Astros, his catcher was former Blue Jay Alan Ashby.
Strike 1 to Devon White. 1 for 24 lifetime against Ryan. Out 1 in the first inning. That was White. All 3 in the second. 2 in the third. 2 in the fourth. 1 in the fifth. 1 so far here in the 6th inning. 10 of them mowed down by Ryan. Filed away 1 and 2. Roger Clemens against Seattle holds the record of 20 strikeouts in a single game.
You know, we were talking earlier about things that you see in clubhouses. There's a sign in the visiting clubhouse here in Arlington where the Jays have their lockers, and it's a sign saying any players requesting Nolan Ryan's autograph, limit your request to 2 and do it the 2nd day of the series.
And get in line. 2 and 2.
So you know he's obviously going to oblige, but he wants to just make it 1 day, and he wants to limit things to 2 per player.
Talking to himself out there. just to get everything set for this offering to White. Just missed. Ball 3-2.
You know, last year Nolan Ryan held the opposition to a 188 batting average. And 10 times he's done that in his career. Held the other hitters to a batting average under 200.
There's number 11. My, what a marvelous performance we're watching tonight on CTV from Arlington, Texas. 3-0 Rangers on the bats. Blue Jays baseball.
Play the new Walt Disney World Baseball Magic at A&P in Dominion. Win a trip for 2 to Orlando, Florida, home of Walt Disney World Resort. All trips provided by Canadian Holidays, a world of vacations. Or win a TurboGrafx 16 video game system, a Samboro 6-piece luggage set, the Torque Force cordless driver drill from Ryobi, and Dirt Devil vacuums from Royal Appliance. This week's features from Nabisco Good Whole Wheat Shreddies. And enjoy the varieties of Humpty Dumpty potato chips.
Chevrolet, along with Tommy Hutton and Fergie Alber, welcome you back to Nolan Ryan night here in Arlington, Texas. He and the Rangers lead the Blue Jays 3-0. A no-hitter through 6 for Ryan. And for Texas, Juan Gonzalez, the DH, starts the Rangers' 6th inning. Gonzalez reaching on an error after a double in the 2nd inning. Puts that into right field. Whitten will come on a couple of steps and take the first out. Bring up the catcher, Mike Stanley.
You also have to think about a little bit what's going through Mike Stanley's mind.
Yeah.
Back there behind the plate, realizing that through 6 innings, future Hall of Famer has another no-hitter going. And Stanley has not caught one of Nolan Ryan's no-hitters.
Jimmy Key has given up 5 hits. He's been victimized by 3 errors. He's totally the forgotten pitcher tonight. This is outside, 1-0. Again, you would think that being around for a quarter of a century, that Ryan would have pitched in more than 1 World Series. That was only one for the Mets in 1969. It's hit hard. Lee up with it smartly, and the throw to Olerud. 2 gone. Remind you, a cash donation is being made to the Schizophrenia Society of Canada on behalf of the Labatt's Blue player of the Sanyo's CompuLogic CD portable stereo. Compact power and realism of a full-size home CD stereo. Motor-driven twin cassettes, remote control. Sanyo's sophisticated CompuLogic CD. Mr. Ryan has been very CompuLogic tonight. 2 gone in the 6th inning for Steve Buechele. 1 for 2 and a base hit in the 4th inning. sat in, I guess it's 3 years ago now, at Exhibition Stadium, a Nolan Ryan no-hit bid that Nelson Liriano ruined in the 9th inning that Sunday afternoon.
That's the amazing thing. Aside from the 6 no-hitters, he's pitched 12 one-hitters. 12 one-hitters, and 3 of those, 2 others, aside from the Nelson Liriano base hit, 3 of those ruined in the 9th inning, and 3 of them with first inning singles.
He's one for the books. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Buechele. Jimmy Keys, he said the forgotten man, has settled down to pitch quite decently from the 4th inning on. The 3rd inning was his big problem when they got all the runs. It was Nolan Ryan, looking relaxed and ever so ready. And he'd be going to work right now as Buechele takes a called 3rd strike. Jimmy Keys struck out 5 tonight, but again, all lost in the Nolan Ryan performance here in Texas. 6 innings complete, 3-0 on the bats. Blue Jays baseball. Have a couple of those jalapenos there. That'll set you up for the next inning time. This is Tom McKee's favorite food. Nachos with jalapenos. Just eating his heart out right now. I don't see how. Your father-in-law is saying, hey, Tommy gave you quite a tip tonight to watch this thing. Pretty quick game for Ryan, too.
Yeah, normally he's see, when he's on, though, he doesn't labor, doesn't take as much time.
Yeah.
Well, what's he have? He only has the 1 walk. Gee, if not for the walk, you have a perfect game going.
Heading off for the Blue Jays, second baseman Roberto Alomar.
Welcome back to Arlington, Texas, where Ryan works to Alomar to start the 7th inning. A little high for ball 1. 3-0. Rangers lead, looking to sweep the mini-series from the Jays. Kelly Gruber, the only base runner on a walk from Ryan in the 1st inning, is on deck next. Alomar, big cut. Almost screwed himself into the ground at home plate.
Alomar trying to hit one off the clock in deep right field with that swing.
Well, that fastball does intimidate you. You know your bat speed's got to be so quick. You do some things you'd never do at the plate. They do a lot of this. Swing through pitches.
You know, and spotting the fastball. That wasn't just a fastball that he reared back and threw down the middle. That fastball was on the outside part, and you could see the swing that Roberto had.
He moves them in, out, upstairs. Probably upstairs here. Nope. Down and gets him for strikeout number 12. One away in the Toronto 7th inning. He is 8 outs away from a no-hit game.
Baseman Kelly Gruber.
Different types. 3 fastballs right there. The one that Roberto had the big swing on, the one that he spotted on the outside, and that 3rd one, the sinking fastball that went down.
Now Gruber gives him a breaking ball for a strike. They don't know what's coming next. If they do guess it's a fastball, as you say, they have no idea about its location.
And certainly you're not going to go up against Nolan Ryan and look for that curveball.
He pops him straight out. Back to the screen comes Stanley. without the ball. 2 strikes to Gruber. Well, Ryan has done this kind of thing to a lot of teams, including the Blue Jays before. He struck out 14 Jays July 25th of '89. 3 games of 15 strikeouts or more. We mentioned Clemens with 20 strikeouts for the record. Ryan has 19 strikeouts 4 times, including against the Jays in their first year of 1977. So here he goes to Gruber 0-2. Stanley sets up out there, and that's where it is. Number 13 has been recorded. We're watching an absolute pitching masterpiece here tonight.
This is just incredible, and the thing that you lose sight of in watching him pitch is that fastball. Kelly Gruber. You've seen 3 different types of fastballs here in this inning, but the thing that you lose perspective in is that he's 44 years old.
He works into the 7th inning, having struck out 5 of the last 6 he has faced. 13 in total. Here's Joe Carter. That's strike 1 to him.
And look where it was, right on the outside corner.
Well, here they are. 1990 Oakland the last, and the Dodgers before that 9 years earlier. Baltimore, Minnesota, Detroit, and Kansas City. Closing in on another one here in Texas tonight.
Yeah, pretty good run there in the mid-70s, huh?
Took some time off in the 80s, but he's back in the 90s. 1 ball and 1 strike. Is he back?
Going through some of those catchers. Jeff Torbort, when they were with the Angels, caught one of the no-hitters. Art Kushner, Tom Egan, Alan Ashby I mentioned. John Russell caught the last no-hitter that Nolan Ryan pitched. All you can do is sit there and talk about it. Look at Kelly saying that ball moved. I mean, you can't be upset. You just have to say this guy is a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. He's done it before. And you just have to marvel and try to go up there and try to break it.
The ball's in a strike. Yes, they can certainly commiserate. Breaking ball. Carter lays off. He goes to 3-1 now. He's retired 18 straight since the Gruber walk. You made the point, and the pictures speak for themselves. I mean, he is just varying his pitches. So, I mean, his selection, his quarterbacking out there is a thing to behold. Carter has no way of knowing where this next pitch will be. He does get the bat on it.
And I guarantee that ball was well into the 90s. He reached back. Had a 3-2 pitch. He wanted to go with his fastball. He knew he had to throw it just a little bit harder. But Joe Carter's also been sitting on the bench and faced him twice before and seen that curveball. He's had such good command of the curveball. I wouldn't be surprised if he even threw it 3-2.
Well, he puts his second man on. Carter reaches for the first time since Gruber's walk in the first inning.
First baseman John Olerud.
And it brings up Olerud. I mean, here was a man, Ryan, who after throwing 131 pitches against Cleveland last Friday, they weren't quite sure he'd be ready to start. Look what he's done tonight. Michelle, his third baseman, drops in for a chat. You can tell he hated to give that pass to Carter.
Yeah, and also think about it. It's been a while since that first inning walk to Kelly Gruber. And Nolan Ryan's had to pitch from the stretch.
Might change things. Base runner is going, and it's fouled out of play as Carter was headed for second.
Not a bad idea right there. A lot of runners over the years, because of Nolan Ryan's high leg kick, have stolen bases. And number 2, it opened up a nice hole on the left side with the shortstop Jeff Houston covering second base. It opened up a nice hole for John Olerud.
his second, a more respectable out, and he'll do it again here. This time the third baseman Buechele in foul territory will collect the out. Seventh inning over. Ryan 6 outs away from a no-hitter. Stay with us for history in the making on Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball. Pitcher, boys. Key is gone this night in Arlington, and Bob McDonald comes on now. He figured to get some more seasoning in Syracuse, but the absence of Ken Daly due to his dizzy problems and the recurring inactivity for him brought McDonald along to pitch very decently in his limited activity with the Blue Jays. A couple of games, one strikeout, hasn't given up a hit or a walk. He comes in to start with the number 9 Texas hitter, Jeff Hewson, the shortstop. So Key leaves without consecutive victory number 5. If things stay the way they do, he will at least get a no decision tonight. It's the best he can hope for. Left after throwing 95 pitches. There's the bunt for a strike.
Yeah, certainly a good outing by Jimmy Key. The pitch that Sierra hit the home run, we described that a good pitch. Not a hanging pitch at all. It was down. Errors hurt him in that third inning. No, we've talked about, Chevy, though, we've talked about the chain of events and things that happened with the pitching staff because of the injury to Tom Henke and also the dizziness of Ken Daly not being able to pitch yet. So all of a sudden that's put Wayne Ward in a different position, Jim Ackner, Frank Wills, Bob McDonald has been called up, and the Blue Jays signed to a AAA contract today, signed Guillermo Hernandez, a veteran left-hander who had that Cy Young year with the Detroit Tigers.
Bit of a surprise move. He was released by Philadelphia in the spring. He was in Puerto Rico pitching, and the Jays, I guess, need a good left-handed arm in their farm system, and so they brought him in and signed a minor league deal.
Yeah, and you think about that. If the injuries didn't occur up here, McDonald would probably still be at AAA, and so the signing of Hernandez might not be necessary.
2-2 is the count to Houston. Twice has rounded out to first, the second is sacrificed to move Buechele across. Houston, frustrated, becomes strikeout victim number 1. Or McDonald. I want to remind you, Sunday night on CTV, get ready for a comedy with identity crisis. Bette Midler and Lily Tomlin bump into at Midler and Lily Tomlin, and a crazy story about two sets of twins in Big Business this week's CTV Sunday movie. Texas Rangers doing big business here tonight. What appears to be a capacity crowd sitting in on a possible 7th career no-hitter for Nolan Ryan. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you might be looking in tonight. Pitch from McDonald is low to Gary Pettis. His hit came in the 3rd inning. He stole a base and scored on an errant throw from catcher Greg Myers. That was the first run of the night. Motions to bunt, but takes the strike 1-1. The other 2 runs came after Palmeiro singled. Ruben Sierra's 2-run homer made it 3-0. Ball and 2 strikes.
It's really been fun watching Mike Timlin and Bob McDonald, a couple of young pitchers. Timlin with the hard sinking fastball from the right side. McDonald similar from the left side. And even though they have been called up, and we've talked about role changes with the relief pitchers, it's a great experience for these young pitchers to come up and get this experience in these types of situations.
A ball and 2 strikes. McDonald working to Pettis in the Texas 7th inning.
These situations right here for young pitchers down the line toward the end of the season are invaluable. What they can learn by getting in games and doing the job that they've done.
By the way, the Red Sox still scoreless in Minnesota. That game in the late going now. They're in the 9th inning. He strikes him out. Bases 2, fans 2. McDonald doing his Nolan Ryan impersonation.
Left fielder
Jack Doherty, the left fielder, up next. He's 0 for 3.
You figure what it is for a youngster, Bob McDonald, to go out there having sat in the bullpen, watch Nolan Ryan. Now he's out there on the same mound.
And acquitting himself very well. Single past Alomar keeps the Texas 7th alive. We'll bring up Rafael Palmeiro. Rangers, by the way, have a Canadian on their team. Contributor Kevin Reimer not on the lineup tonight, but he still resides in Enderby, British Columbia.
Doherty, a switch hitter, and that's the way he hits. He's not a power hitter. He has struggled. We've talked about his average right around the 100 mark, but when he hits that type of baseball, hits it hard on the ground, keeps it low, line drive down, that's when he's successful.
Palmeiro, with his single in the 3rd inning, is 1 for 3. Strike 1, inside part of the plate. Good pitch by McDonald.
You know, we were talking about the swing of Rafael Palmeiro, and it's a nice swing to watch. And he said as a youngster playing baseball early Little League and up through high school in the Miami area, he said he just played all the time. He played 4 or 5 games a week. Even when he was playing in high school, he'd play in other leagues.
Ripped into left center field. So McDonald starts impressively enough with strikeouts of Houston and Pettis. Doherty and now Palmeiro, back-to-back singles for Ruben Sierra.
Well, that's the worst part of it. The back-to-back singles, there's that swing. He takes that pitch the other way. A lot of left-handers against the left-hander will pull that ball, and when you try to pull that pitch, it's just the ground ball to the right side as Willie Frazier starts to loosen up. But the problem with, you get the 2 strikeouts with the 2 base hits, and here comes that guy again, Ruben Sierra.
That guy has hit a 2-run homer tonight and a couple of homers last night. Will single-handedly has beaten the Blue Jays in this 2-game stand in Texas. Sierra on the right side tonight against both Key and McDonald left-handers is 50 points weaker there than he is the left side of the plate. You would not know it by what he has done. 2-run homer, 3rd inning. Looks the pitch away for ball 1. And no luck involved tonight. a longer inning than the last 2 or 3. I wonder how this might affect Ryan as he sits.
I think it might affect someone going after their first no-hitter, but when you've thrown 6, he's gone through just about everything.
Gruber up with it. Force play at second to Alomar gets the job done. Good hard shot by Sierra, but to no avail. A couple of hits do no damage to the Jays or McDonald. They still trail Ryan and the Rangers by 3. Nolan about ready to go to work on Labatt's Blue Jays baseball.
Today's baseball magic winners of a trip for 2 to Orlando, Florida, home of Walt Disney World Resort, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, are Mrs. Sharon Allen of Etobicoke and Mrs. Annie Gasek of Thunder Bay, Ontario. Congratulations.
Not too many people are leaving.
Oh. There are about 10,000 free tickets don't count in this. The grocery store, yeah. So, better explain that. Looks pretty funny.
Frank, where are you off to tomorrow? Are you...
He's going to Kansas
Have a nice
City.
trip. What time are you leaving? We're all going at different times.
They got a lot of pretty women there in Kansas City.
Fergie and Michael going
early. A song about that.
That's right. You guys are going early, aren't you? Yeah, I'm going about 10.
Is there a golf course at the airport you're going to hit when you get off the plane?
Putting green on the plane.
Yes. Newfoundland by Newfoundland. Welcome back, you viewers in Newfoundland, looking in on a bid for no-hit number 7 for the amazing Texas right-hander Nolan Ryan tonight. Gets set to pitch the 8th inning. Blue Jays with the inexperience of Mark Whitten and Glenn Allen Hill, and Craig Myers in behind him. Get down to the bottom part of the order. If you look at the prospects, on paper at least, they're pretty favorable for Ryan to continue this.
Really about the only bat that Cito might send up there would be the veteran bat of Mookie Wilson.
Whitten laces that into right field, but Sierra is there. Twice Mark Whitten has hit good shots to the outfield. He drove one to Pettis in center, a no-hit saver in the 5th inning, and now this to Sierra.
Yeah, you think about some of the balls that have been hit tonight. That one ball in the 6th inning, Manuel Lee hit that Gary Pettis raced in on the shallow fly ball. But as you mentioned, Whitten the last 2 times up has been right on the fastball of Nolan Ryan.
Hill hasn't gotten around on it all night. He has struck out twice.
Okay, your young hitter, just getting ready to say before he threw that curveball, what did he throw Glenn Allen last time? 3 straight fastballs.
Yeah, you'll remember that in the 5th inning, Tommy. And I had a chance to ask Glenn Allen, what he said to the home plate umpire, and he just said, well, are those balls moving? And Sheeta said, yes, they are. He said, would you check them for me, please? He says, I haven't had a chance to.
They're moving right into the mitt of Mike Stanley.
Oh, yeah. Amazing consistency. 1-1 to Hill.
Sometimes a hitter, after he swings at a pitch up, will ask, or pitch down that he thinks is out of the strike zone, will ask if it was a strike or not.
This has popped up and will be well back and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And then obviously the sarcastic umpire will say, well, sure it is, you swung at it. But what the hitter wants to know is if he swung at a strike or a ball.
Doesn't much matter. A Baker's dozen in the strikeout department tonight. Just the 2 walks to Gruber, and then to Carter 6 innings later. Just a piece.
Even the foul balls are hard. This curveball, Glenn has a good swing at it. And because of that, I'd be surprised if Nolan comes back with a curveball again.
George Foreman makes impact like that.
So after seeing that good swing on the curveball, let's see if Nolan stays with his fastball up to Glenn Allen Hill.
He does. Number 14. He's now 4 outs away from a no-hitter.
And he stayed right in that same Allen Hill all night. And looking back, Chev, at his 6 no-hitters, he had 17 strikeouts in one of the no-hitters.
Here's Greg Myers. Just gets a piece. He's gone over the 100-pitch mark now with 101. Pitched 131 against the Indians last Friday night. Strike 2. Strike 3 on the appeal. They give it to him. Lights out in the 8th inning. 15 strikeouts. Don't you dare go away. It's a strike, all right. Let's now go to CTV in with Rod Black. Can you top this, Rod? He already is the oldest ever to throw a no-hitter, right?
Oh, yeah. Last year.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. And indeed, along with Ricky Henderson making history this day, Nolan Ryan might join him on May 1st of 1991. Willie Fraser on the mound for the Blue Jays. Franco lifts that up into right field. Heading for foul territory is Whitten and does collect it there. Reaching in by the Ranger bullpen.
I'd say that's always a difficult play for a left fielder or a right fielder. Going into foul territory when you have to encounter the bullpen. Because you have that mound area down there and you tippy-toe into foul territory and sometimes you stumble over that mound. Good play by Mark.
He'll reach a little bit further at the end than he figured.
There you go. See the mound right there in the bullpen warm-up area for Texas. Bullpen had a scatter.
Juan Gonzalez, he takes a strike from the rejuvenated Fraser, who had an absolutely horrible spring training in Dunedin. Went to Syracuse, got his mechanics and rhythm together, and has come back to pitch effectively. One ball, one strike. As you look ahead to the menu for Mr. Ryan, feasting into the 9th inning of his no-hit dinner tonight. Manuel Lee, Devon White, and Roberto Alomar scheduled. Blue Jays banner will certainly be touching on this at length and other activities involving the American League and the Blue Jays next weekend. Check for it where you live. Gonzalez hit him. Will go to first base. Didn't make a great move to get away from that pitch. He does become a hit batsman.
Frazier just trying to keep his fastball in, up and in. That's where you want to pitch Juan Gonzalez.
He held his ground. Mike Stanley now the catcher. And this could be a very special night in his career. He does wind up catching the 7th no-hitter for Nolan Ryan. Strike all the way. What a delightful day in baseball this has been, with the afternoon record steal by Henderson, and now this tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike to the hitter Stanley. 0 for 2 and a walk he is tonight. Again, the Rangers got all their scoring in the 3rd. More than enough with Ryan's arm cranked up for a 3-0 lead. Breaking ball stays up. 2-1 now is the count.
As Fergie mentioned earlier, it seems like every pitch Nolan Ryan throws, a new record is set. He's also working on his 60th career shutout.
He reaches for it, sends it back foul. The attendance tonight a little misleading. 33,439, 10,000 more than that here, because the supermarket gave away, talk about great timing, gave away 10,000 tickets for tonight's game. So 10,000 people may be seeing the game of a lifetime free of charge.
They would have had a great night anyway.
Well, they gladly pay for this. Into right field, Mark Whitten tracking back. Has to give up on it off the base of the wall. Here's Gonzalez heading for 3rd base. Play at second, safe there. The double to Stanley.
Well played by Mark Whitten. Watch this. Bare hand off the wall and turns and fires. And also give a little credit to Manuel Lee. A little bit of the pick on the 1 hop and comes quickly with the tag. And Stanley just is able to beat it. That's a good try by Whitten to get it in quick, and then a nice play by Manuel Lee.
Galen Cisco out to talk to Frazier with Steve Buechele, the hitter. He will leave him to face the right-handed hitter. Buechele 1 for 3 tonight.
You know, it's funny how things work as Nolan Ryan just, look how relaxed he is. Next to Tom House, his pitching coach.
You wouldn't even think he's pitching tonight.
Tom House, his pitching coach, is 4 or 5 years younger.
Well, Rangers make a mistake there. They send the runner Gonzalez. He is a dead duck, while Stanley takes 3rd with 2 out now.
Well, they tried to squeeze. They tried to just sneak in 1 more run. Bobby Valentine did. With the runner coming, a pitch that's not a good pitch to try to bunt. So you can't really fault the hitter, Steve Buechele, and can't fault the runner. Just Blue Jays were able to come out of that, making that pitch and getting the runner trying to come in.
Here's Frazier, a breather on the way to his 0-1 delivery here, which misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's a play out of the Bobby Valentine book of Tommy Lasorda. Bobby played for Tommy Lasorda in the minor leagues coming up the Dodgers organization, and Dodgers like to do that every so often.
He reaches for it. Gruber, generous hop. Makes the throw to Olerud to take care of Buechele and the Rangers, who strand Stanley, but that's not the story. This man is Ryan, 3 outs away from no-hit number 7. Stay with us right here on CTV, Canada's no-hit network. And all the ships at sea. Until you showed up. That's right, 13 years. Just the eyes of Texas, but the eyes of North America are upon Nolan Ryan here in the 9th inning, looking for a career 7th no-hitter at the age of 44. First up, shortstop Manuel Lee. Low, ball 1. Just 2 base runners. Carter in the 7th inning, Gruber in the 1st on walks. On wide, Roberto Alomar, top of the order, due next for Toronto.
Of the balls that were hit hard. You mentioned the 2 hit by Mark Whitten, 1 in the 5th inning, a fly ball to deep center, a line drive to right field in the 8th, and then that shallow fly ball by Manuel Lee in the 6th inning that Gary Pettis raced in and made a fine catch.
Devon White has a hat trick tonight. 3 strikeouts. There have been 3 no-hitters in this state. Dating back to 1906. Ball 1 to White. 15 strikeouts for Ryan this night. White fouls that back 1-1. Hitting with a 1 for 25 lifetime mark versus Ryan. Says Tim Sheeta at the knees.
Been that kind of a night for Devon White. 3 strikeouts, came into the game 1 for 22 lifetime against Nolan.
It just a little bit longer. Two balls and 2 strikes.
If you think about it, the last couple of innings, thinking back to that 1 curveball that Glenn Allen Hill back in the 8th inning had a good rip at, About that time, Nolan really hasn't had the control of the curveball that he did through the first 6 or 7 innings. Even that one there had sharp break to it, but was out of the strike zone. Again, I think he's going to stay upstairs with his fastball.
Just missed outside with it, 3-2. He goes to a full count for the 7th time tonight. Franco again. Ryan's an out away. And now the only man standing between Nolan Ryan and the 7th career no-hitter is Toronto's second baseman Roberto Alomar.
And even though Roberto Alomar is a fine bunter, you go up there and you say to yourself, if you're going to break up a no-hitter, you're going to do it swinging.
You've got to. Like everybody else tonight, he's 0 for 3, and that's strike 1.
This is electrifying, and I know after he struck out the side in the 2nd inning, you and I turned and looked at each other and said, he is on his A game tonight.
You had that feeling. Strike 2. Perhaps the most remarkable man to pitch in this game. Nolan Ryan. Low. This entire stadium standing in anticipation of the final strike or the final out. A piece by Alomar.
And again, he's staying with his fastball.
It is what has gotten him this far, and he hopes it'll drive him home. Two and two.
Looking at that ball saying, I don't want this, no more curveballs, give me a good one, I'm going to go with the heat.
Nope, that won't do either. Let's settle for this one. Stubborn young hitter hangs in with it.
You have that right. Give some credit to Roberto Alomar, who battles and battles and battles right here. He doesn't want to make the last out.
Young man who got his first big league hit ever off Nolan Ryan. That's it. Number 7 is in the books. The remarkable Ryan has done it again. Ryan's got his hat off, and an entire continent takes theirs off to him. Unbelievable. He got stronger as the night grew long. Mowed down Blue Jays 16 on strikeouts, gave up only 2 walks, and has recorded an unprecedented 7th no-hit game.
And I really enjoyed watching the way the latter part of the ball game he changed his style a little bit. We talked about early on he had the exceptional curveball as well as his always fastball that's there. But he got away from the curveball because he wasn't throwing it as well for strikes. Just an incredible performance. Not only gave people here chills, I have them myself.
Oh, everybody in this park has. You had to be thrilled just watching at those final pitches in the battle with the game-young hitter Alomar. You wondered if the 44-year-old was going to tire finally, make one bad pitch to end it all in a negative way, but no, he hung in right to the end and got what he came for. So Fergie is there with him. We're going to be able to go to him in just a moment or two to capture the thoughts of the man of the hour in baseball, Nolan Ryan. Maybe the man of this century in terms of pitching.
The amazing thing, too, Chevy, is that back in the early 70s, the no-hitter he pitched against Detroit, he had 17 strikeouts, and 16 he had tonight. That's the second best figure in that strikeout mark for Nolan Ryan in his 7 no-hitters.
So he's seen the first no-hitter of the season of 1991 in the 5th start for Nolan Ryan. And he comes out once again to acknowledge his crowd here, his faithful in Arlington, Texas. Not many leaving. They're standing to relish and cherish this moment with Nolan. You know, the other night, I was at a dinner in Toronto, the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame dinner. Johnny Vandermeer was at the head table. He pitched back-to-back no-hitters in 1938. One of the records you think may never be equal. Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hit streak is the other. Joe was also there. To see Ryan pitch, and you wonder about the next start, which just so happens to probably be in Toronto next week. So Blue Jay fans back in Toronto may just see Ryan try to duplicate what Vandermeer did, and unbelievable as it may sound, come back for number 8.
Well, we talk and talk about incredible records that Nolan Ryan has compiled, and with the 16 strikeouts tonight, he's had 15 games where he struck out 16 or more. Now, the amazing thing about that number is that over the last 25 years in the American League, all the American League pitchers combined haven't done that.
All right, we can finally connect with Fergie and Ryan.
Well, thank you very much, Chevy. We had a few problems with our microphone. Nolan, thank you very much for waiting for us. I thought that catch by Gary Pettis off of Manny Lee that ball to me looked as if it was going to drop in. A sensational play.
Well, when the ball left the bat, I thought that the ball was going to drop in, and usually when I get hurt in a game, I get hurt short, and Gary has helped us a lot since coming over because he's taken a lot of those base hit away as he did tonight, and I think that when the ball left the bat, I thought that the ball was going to drop in, and I turned and looked and saw the ball was hanging up a little, and I looked at the jump that he got, and I felt like he had a shot at it. I was really anticipating him having to dive for the ball.
Nolan, an incredible record, 7 no-hitters. Were you getting stronger as the game went on?
Well, I think what I did is I went to my fastball. It was good all night. I established my curveball early, threw some change-ups early. I had all 3 pitches, all good command all 3 pitches, and so it was one of those games that just everything came into place, and I threw my curveball and got it over when I had to, and I think they were aware that I was getting my curveball over, and it made my fastball better.
When did you really feel out there that, hey, maybe this will be number 7?
I didn't. With the 3 left-handers coming up in the 9th, I knew I had my work cut out for me. They were aggressive tonight. They're good hitters. They're good fastball hitters. In the 9th, I was going to go with my fastball. You never know about those things. I really, in my mind, had run through the lineup, and when that meant I was going to have to face Alomar again, and I really didn't want to do that. And I was just fortunate that he battled me at last at bat, and I finally got a ball by him.
I'm getting the wrap up here, Nolan, but one more question. At 44 years of age, this little sweetheart here tonight has to be just a little more important.
Well, it's probably the most meaningful one because of my age and the fact I did it here in front of these Ranger fans that have supported me so well since I've come here, and I'd hope to give them the type of game that they were deserving of. And I'm just glad that it worked out, that I have been able to throw a no-hitter here.
You are a class act and a credit to the game, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Nolan Ryan, you're watching Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball on CTV. Where do you want me? Back over the other side or stay here for the closing or what?